Hey guys and gals of YouTube, how y'all doing? Hey boy, this is not really a review because we're missing pieces on the set. Welcome to LEGO Mars Mission 7691. Nice instructions in good shape. It's from 2007. I'm not going to say back in 2007 because it just doesn't feel very long ago to me. Mars Mission had the alien figures, which the arms don't move. They have this hole through the center. And this set, I've seen some interesting thoughts on it on YouTube, and it's kind of a cool looking set, I think. That goes on that set there. It's got little crystals and little globes here, and has this air pump, which till I held one in position for here, I was trying to figure out, I just couldn't understand it. And I guess you rotate this little cylinder here, and there, put it down. Your air pump is on the bottom of your air thing. And I guess you just kind of give it a bang. It seems to have to hit it awfully hard. Maybe this line could be modified a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it works. It does work. But mostly what I want to talk about, since this isn't a real review, is I want to talk about the mothership. You see, what I found at a thrift store was a mothership set, but it's missing a great deal of parts. And I was piecing together, and I got a deal on this one, which is missing pieces too. So let's just talk about this one. Okay, this is a mothership build, has some use of stickers, your little aliens. According to the instructions, you actually mount them facing up into this assembly with this hole in their chest lined up with this pin. And I guess it's supposed to feed the energy or whatever, be some sort of controlling thing. I don't like this feature. I'm being straight up. I don't like it. This was my set, well, which it is my set. I'm not going to display it that way. Now, the curiousness is the arms don't move and the legs are very unjointed. Legos include these pieces here, so you can just stick him here with his feet and lightly bend him, and he looks like he's sitting. The odd part is, kind of awkward, is you do have the control handles here, and he has no arms. Maybe a screen would have been better for him to interface, but it's got one of those jewels here, so it's kind of cool. Originally, I thought the criticism would be that the set is flat, and I said, well, just like old space sets, but no, I kind of like the articulated feeling. I really like the green dinosaur tails. As usual, LEGO's rather brilliant use of the lime green and the trans neon green and other pieces, even though, and these are stickers too, even though it will allow you to build your own models based on the set. Now, it does have a firing feature, which works remarkably well, and it fires down into here, so it works almost like a howitzer, and the trigger mechanism is on the bottom here. So you just, fire like so, and I mean, it goes a long way. That's about 14 feet. So that's impressive. Criticisms, not really, but probably I think this is a lot of space right here, and this joint doesn't feel very strong, but more than that, if this is like a gun emplacement or something like that, it's hitting the tail here and up here. So it just doesn't have much movement. Now, one thing I could think of is maybe that's because they don't want you, if you're swooshing this, for these things to be just rotating willy-nilly. But then the problem with that is this thing is just pinned. So I agree, it probably is a victim of Star Wars and other things going on, and not as much time or effort put into this line. But I'm trying to love this set, and in all honesty, I do appreciate, like I said, the biggest thing is, if you follow the storyline, they're both aliens. They're both Xenos on Mars. The astronauts are there to get, they're mining for these gems, and these aliens are also there. They're marooned there. So the aliens ships would be limited to probably Lego's line, unless you want to maybe mock up something and just kind of, keep yourself in the Lego colors, and probably have to use some of these stickered pieces, maybe not. to get the flow, the continuum going. The cool thing is, if the aliens are stuck there, the ship designs don't really change, and big opportunity to army build. A channel called For Bricks and Giggles was talking about old versus new sets, and I'm going to touch on this because it feels a little bit here. This handle is definitely for play value. You can work your trigger here to fire that single weapon, and I do like this. But I'm reminded from her video, because she said what she missed about old Lego sets is like they were designed to be taken apart, lots of big pieces, but not just tons and tons of tiny pieces. And that's interesting. It wasn't a negative video. I thought it was very informative. And I like to see in someone else's insight sometimes. Where I'm going to apply that to this set is this set does suffer from, but in a different way. Let's face it, this thing won't see a lot of use outside of this theme. It'd be hard to use in a mock, although this gun emplacement would make it great possible for a mock. But you'd probably make a wrecked one and remove the hose and maybe this piece here, but leave the skids so people know what it is. I think that could be really cool. These clear glass parts where the gemstones are, you can remove one and make it look like it's been blown up or whatever. It would be really great, or overgrown. Put some rusty brown or brown pieces, imitate rust. It could be great. And then you could have the aliens been victorious, or you could put on Mars and you wouldn't have any grass or anything anyways. I do like the movability. I like this. It reminds me a little bit of the insectoids. It's almost like a organic kind of a feel. I really like that in this. In fact, I really like this a lot more than I thought I would. These feel like they were added as afterthought. Maybe single turrets that are, or somehow with the dinosaur tails. I don't know. Probably just something to fill up the space. Take out the squareness, make it all round and organic. But as a child or as an adult that plays like a child, I like the swooshability. I like the look of it. Oh yes, and before I forgot, my whole point before I got on that silly rant is referencing her video. This feels like a set that you don't just assemble to put on display maybe, but you assemble it as a play set. Like this becomes a toy in and of itself. And some of the play value of breaking this down into other things may or may not be there, unless that particular person can apply these to another set. So this would probably encourage me to look for more sets that are similar, so I can maybe modify or take parts off of one, or sit there and look. So okay, flashes are red, gray, black, trans neon. Interesting use of green flames here. No flames here, but maybe you could modify this ship to have these little ones launch off of it. And I think that's the real play value of this line. Plus, it has a great, exciting lore you could really get mixed up into. I think it's fun. I think it'd be a fun set. I don't have enough of the sets to really give much comment, but this wasn't meant to be this long of a video, but I think it's pretty cool. I really like it. I am going to rebuild my parts one, and I got a lot of parts for to build the second one, so maybe we'll do the army building. The worst part about it is setting it down. I mean, I don't know. I guess I could move these down. This doesn't right here really move. It's on a neck Technic piece. So I guess I could set it like so. Does that look okay? I mean, I don't know. Or maybe I could, what I would probably do is maybe just make another stand would be the best thing. So I can just sort of put it in static, just build a temporary stand underneath it, keep all the weight from pushing up in these pieces here. Anyways, with that, let's go ahead and end that there. I did come in 2 astronaut figures. I don't want to talk about too much because I don't want it to be a review. But for these guys, I found some little orange oxygen tanks because they have this printed detail on the back, and you can slip in an orange oxygen tank, and they look pretty good. I like the Lego figures. I think these have a certain charm also, but at any rate. All right, appreciate the views out there, the thoughts. Y'all stay safe till next time. Ciao.